A Canadian writer has a new book coming out tomorrow, and it's already getting a strong response. Sorry, the book isn't necessarily getting the strong response, although it probably will. No, his tweet about the book is getting a strong response because it reads like this. Last summer, I disguised myself as a black man and traveled throughout the United States to document how racism persists in American society. Writing Seven Shoulders, the book, was one of the hardest things I've ever done as a journalist. It's out on blah, 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 blah. And there's a photo of the book there. So he disguised himself as a black man. Now, I want to be clear, he doesn't give any more specificity about what that means in practice, but I think we can sort of guess. And as you may guess, a lot of people had a problem with this. I just want to, before we get into the responses and our own responses, I just want to make clear, if people don't know, this is not like an original idea or whatever. John Howard Griffin did this in Black Like Me back in 1961. I think in 1959 he traveled. I just openly in blackface. He's traveled around the South, and so this is just like redoing that, I guess. But as a Canadian, and in a time where I hope we all know that you're not supposed to do this. I'm gonna get to what Twitter had to say, but Sharon, first I do want your thoughts.
I'm just wondering if along the way he stopped at different establishments and started tap dancing just randomly. I mean, this is really, and no shame about it either, huh? Just gonna put it out there, publicize. We'll see. We'll see what groundbreaking or what epiphany he had, these discoveries along the way.
Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the Damage Report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. I don't want to know, actually. I'm not interested necessarily, but I am gonna give you all some responses. So LL Jones says, a Canadian white man cosplays in blackface for a summer instead of just interviewing black people about their lived experiences to then write a book about your cosplay experience and claim it to be, as you'll see, it literally says Seven Shoulders is the most important book on American race relations that has ever been written.
Wow.
Ever. Not like the most important book on American race relations written by a Canadian in blackface, just in general. So all of the seminal works, all the great authors, Baldwin, go F yourself. You ain't got nothing on Seven Shoulders. Oni Blackstock says, as if just listening to black people about our experiences wasn't sufficient, you had to do this wild experiment to prove the existence of racism. Many people have acknowledged, I even saw it in the chat. Matthew Cherry tweeted soul man ass book, which I love. I didn't know Leslie Nielsen was in that, by the way, but yeah, it has soul man vibes. And this was my favorite from Adrian. The invocation of the goose meme. How did you disguise yourself as a black man? How did you disguise yourself as a black man? Which is just great and totally true. By the way, I saw it. We can't play it because our channel will be destroyed, but there was a clip from Boy Meets World, which I never watched growing up. It's a hole in my pop culture knowledge. And the teacher is teaching about Black Like Me. He mentions that James Howard Griffith did this. And the main character of Boy Meets World says, couldn't he have just asked? And that was in the 90s. The author was a kiddo at that point and grew up in all this time and still thinks that's a great idea. Look, I like journalism. I like art. I don't think this was a good call. And just for context, I didn't see in any of the articles about this any searching into who he is or his work or whatever. And I wasn't able to find much. But I did see that he had released another book called Americosis, A Nation's Dysfunction Observed from Public Transit. So basically, I think in Texas, he went on public transit for 6 months and listened to what people said and observed people or whatever. So it seems like generally he just does 6-month experiments or whatever. But in the description of the book, there was this, and I just thought it was interesting. For half a year, I got on the train in one of the biggest cities in the wealthiest nation of all time, only to find myself surrounded by people who are either homeless or commuting to a job that hardly keeps them above the poverty line. All of that is a fine acknowledgement of whatever. Most of them are morbidly obese, and those who aren't are only slim because of heroin or some other destructive analgesic. How could you possibly know that? I mean, if you want to point out that you saw a lot of people that you guess are homeless, okay. If you want to point that people are going to jobs that only keep them above the poverty line, that might even be useful to point out that people are struggling. It's definitely true. But they're only slim because they're on heroin? Did you see them shooting up on the train? Or is this just a weird Canadian assumption about people in Texas or something? So again, I don't know the author. Maybe he'll come up with some sort of argument as to why this was a good idea, but I don't buy it. Sharon, any final thoughts?
He will not come up with a good argument, okay? He is akin to people who say, you know what, I wanna go on a safari. I've not seen these wild creatures before. I wanna see them up close, study their behaviors. That's what this feels like. That unless this is some kind of like Sacha Baron Cohen gag, it's gonna turn into a bigger thing to teach us about ourselves, our own biases. I can't see that this, I mean, is he serious about this? Probably.
Everything seems to be serious.
Seems to be serious.
Look, I'm not saying that it won't work. He's getting a response, and I'm sure Fox News wants to bring him on to defend him. I'm sure, but I don't understand it. I've never understood the obsession with doing blackface. I don't get it. People were mentioning like Trading Places or whatever. Trading Places is such a good movie.
Yeah.
And that part, that and the gorilla. Like, do you not have a writing room? Do you not like, you could have done almost anything. It almost ruins the movie. But anyway, I'll never understand it.